September 15th, 2020. Guys, you're looking at Gulf Shores, Alabama, and you can see the high waves and some of the storm surge pushing up on the beach at this point. In the top right corner, you can see just the blurred outline of some of the condos down that way. And the camera is looking west, back towards Mobile and the Mississippi area. Again, the storm is still very far offshore, and it's supposedly going to cut hard right. It hasn't made the turn yet. Hard right, come up and to East Mississippi, which puts the worst section of the storm right into Mobile Bay and into this area of Gulf Shores. So it hasn't really begun yet, but you can see how something moving this slow can start piling up the surge, the high waves, and things like that, guys. It's just something we got to pay attention to. Now, if we take a look at this update from Fox, this was earlier this morning, but it shows a track of a Cat 1 along the Mississippi-Alabama line, and what that does is put the right side of the storm up into Mobile Bay and into Gulf Shores, where we were just watching the webcam there, guys. But 2 p.m. this afternoon, it's barely moved. Think about it, 2 miles an hour, you can outwalk it. So the effects that you're seeing where you're at now, if you're to the north of the storm, are going to remain for a long time, and they're going to increase as it gets towards the shore. Then as it gets there, again, at 2 miles an hour, it's not moving very fast. Now, the Navy model, guys, and the Canadian model are to the far left or the west of the track in the light green and purple, and they're bringing the storm up near Hattiesburg, Laurel, and then out through Meridian into Alabama. So we're just going to have to watch both sides of that cone. The storm surge, 1 to 3 feet down from Grand Isle to the south of the mouth of the Mississippi, Now, the highest is going to be around the Alabama-Mississippi border. 4 to 7 feet is what they're saying. Right in there, again, is where we were looking at the webcams. You can see it's already started. And into Mobile Bay, it's going to trap a lot of this water. The local TV station there in Biloxi, WLOX, has reported just a little higher on the storm surge warnings. Waveland, and we're going to take a look at the webcam there in Bay St. Louis, 7 feet all the way to Biloxi through Gulfport, Sochet, and then 9 from Biloxi over towards Mobile, up to 9 feet. Okay, and that may be what we see in Gulf Shores too, because just depending on exactly where the center tracks. But right here, again, the Waveland area, guys, is already starting to see beach closures as far as the roads. Silver Slipper, which this webcam is on the top of the casino there. And the curve of the sand that's going from the bottom left out to the right is where the road is. You can see some signs that there's probably a foot or so of water there over the highways. And there's still traffic on some of the roads behind here that lead to this, but this is kind of the road that goes up and leads back. This would be going back east towards the past Christiana area, across the bay. But again, starting to push in. It's still pretty good ways offshore, guys, but these areas are all going to be affected, and it's going to be a remaining effect because of the slow movement of the storm. Think about that. Now here in infrared imaging, the last few frames, you can see that the tops are starting to give us that midday explosion when the sun is getting right on top of these clouds. And so it's going to intensify somewhat as far as energy now, as far as that could increase the sustained wind speed, but not the forward wind speed. So again, it's centered south of Mississippi, still moving towards the Louisiana coast, moving left or west here. And it's going to move a little further west and then do a recurve back up into the right at the state line and putting the quadrant into Mobile Bay, guys. So we'll just watch for the updates, watch for it to turn. Again, let's go back to Gulf Shores a moment live and seeing suds on the beach. Check that out. Yesterday, there were people walking here. This is kind of up and high. It's close to the water, but you can see that the beach is slowly getting inundated there. And again, there's your condos back towards, looking back west, guys, from this camera. But we're watching it. You watch it. We'll have updates. I'm going to be watching for the storm to turn, and that's going to be critical on the exact location of impact. So heads up. Be safe.